Hey everybody, anyone is here, and we are back on the RAC server. Yeah, so I know it's been quite a few days. I haven't had the time. I'm sorry. Whatever. Let's move on. Anyways, last time we talked, or last time in the last episode, we were working on our solar farm out in space, and I think I pretty much have it down. Let's get back out there. I don't remember how many of the actual solar panels I added in the last episode, but I have quite a fair amount right now. They're both going into these two, and it's doing a good job. Now, this looks like it's actually empty, or it's not full, and that's only because I accidentally screwed up and connected another resonant energy cell to a different tesseract and pulled a bunch of energy out of here. But it's actually balanced really well, and it's doing a really good job running right now the moon base, as well as the ring, the singularity ring, or whatever it's called, in my basement that connects me to the moon base. But I want to pull away from my reliance on lava, and not just because not because I think lava is a bad way of generating power. It's just a pain in the ass. I have to keep moving it, and now that I have that solar farm in space, I have a renewable source of energy that I don't have to mess with, which is really, really cool. So I want to connect it to this system here. The only problem is this runs at about 65 MJ, so it's like 650 or so RF. That's a lot of power. And with this, which uses about 400, and the other side, which I believe also uses 400, I think right now I'm pulling about 800 RF from the solar farm up in space. But this is going to add a lot more to it, and it's not going... I mean, it is going to cover all of these things, but it's going to be very close. So I want to have a backup system in place just in case something happens with that solar farm. It can automatically revert back to lava, and then, you know, if the lava runs out, it can revert back to this bank of resonant energy cells. And that should leave me perfect for power. I mean, I should be able to leave this thing running for months and not have to worry about power. So that's what we're going to do today. But in order to do that, I have to get a little fancy with the way I wire this up, because I want this all to happen automatically. Once I stop receiving power from the solar farm, I want to be able to automatically switch over to lava. So what I have here is just a pretty simple circuit I have designed. We're going to turn the input off on this for a second, just to give you a better example of what this looks like. So basically what this is this is the tesseract that goes to the space station's power, and then this would connect over to our bank of engines over there, the lava power. And then I have a comparator here. So basically what's going to happen is when this resonant energy cell dips down below a certain threshold, and you know what? We'll just hook this up here so you can watch it happen. And just start losing... Oh, nope. See, now it's emptying power into this other one. When this drops low enough, this light is going to turn off. It's going to stop receiving a signal. And then it's going to reactivate this redstone torch, which is going to turn on, as you can see it just happened, turned on this resonant energy cell, and then this resonant energy cell will start feeding to the ME controller instead of this one, right? And that's what this is simulating in the back. We're pretending this right here, this block, we'll make it, cobbled or dirt, just to make it easier to identify. This block right here is the ME controller. Both resonant energy cells are connected to it, and only one will be active at any given moment. So that's pretty much the plan. Obviously, when I put it down here, it's going to be a lot smaller and compact. I have it like this right now just to give you an idea of how it's going to work. And right here, I'm going to install two of them. I'm going to put one here and one here, which should allow me... You know what? I could probably... Yeah. Well, I won't use two. I could have a design that will connect to both of these, to just one of these circuits. But that will allow me to run these off solar power, and then if at the moment that the solar power runs out, it will automatically switch over to lava. Very, very cool. So let me get that installed, and when we come back, I'll show you it working. Okay, we are back, and I have everything set up. I have it in the ground here, and I think it came out pretty good. So, right here I have my line of power coming from the lava going into this resonant energy cell. Now this resonant energy cell right now is set up to not allow anything in. That's just for demonstration purposes. But more importantly, this resonant energy cell is set to only turn on with a high signal. So as you can see, there's an output right here that goes into that ME controller. Cool. Over here, we have another resonant energy cell. This resonant energy cell is set up to pull power from the space station, and it is set up to only to allow power unless it gets a redstone signal. But more importantly, it has a comparator on the back. And basically what's going to happen is, just like I showed you before, when this resident energy cell gets down to, I don't know, maybe like 10% power or something like that, it's going to stop emitting a redstone signal, or this comparator will, which will turn on this redstone torch, which will light this wire, which will allow this to start giving power, and will stop this from getting power. So basically what's going to happen is, once this dips below a certain point, it's going to completely shut off until it pulls enough power to turn back on. Very, very cool. And to show you that that it's actually working, we could just break that comparator right there. And as you can see, this light turns on, and now we're pulling power from here. And this, you can't really see anything because it's it's already full. But if we drop this below how much we're pushing out, you could see it's not doing anything because it is getting a redstone signal. And then once we put this comparator back on, boom, that stops. This will start charging up again. We could just turn that all the way back up. As you can see, it just starts charging back up, and it's good to go. So this should do it for here. Very, very, very happy about that. And what I want to see now is just to take a look on the other side at the space station, just to make sure we are not losing power, that we are still gaining power. Because that's, I mean, if we're not generating enough power on the space station to cover everything, it's going to cause us a problem, defeats the whole purpose. So let's see, are we gaining or losing? There you go. Okay, so we're kind of in a flux right now, because I'll put a money bet that says these just changed over. But I think we're going to net gain power. Let's see, yeah, because we're already generating more power than we're pulling, right? Yeah. Well, actually, we're probably pulling a little bit more power than we normally would, just to fill up that resonant energy cells. But you can see, yeah, there you go. We're already at like 1,800, and this is still pulling, what, 1,400? Yeah, see. So, okay, we should be good. This should stay in balanced, powering everything. Now, obviously, if we want to hook up more to this space station network, we're going to have to put out more power. So we're going to have to use more of these, or maybe at least the solar energy cell generators, maybe something else, but more than likely we'll use this. But that's not something we need to worry about at the moment. No, what we can worry about now is not having to worry about power. Very, very cool. I am happy about that. So basically now, just to give you a quick rundown of how the system is set up, this has a backup of using lava, and then if the lava runs out, it will use these resonant energy cells, and then if the resonant energy cells back up, stop, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm screwed. But this system right here strictly uses the lava, because there's really no point in not using the lava. It takes very little power, and it very rarely goes on unless I'm running my quarry. But even if I'm running my quarry, it doesn't really use that much power. And then my quarry itself will run off these engines, which are powered by this fuel right here, which should be self-sufficient, in the sense that as I quarry, I'll pump more oil, and then the oil come into here and refine and turn into refined fuel, and then use it to power itself. I'm not 100% sure if that balance is correct, but I haven't been able to actually turn on my quarry in a while, because I wasn't comfortable with the way I was generating power. I kept running out of power, and the last thing I wanted to do is overload a quarry, because I run out of power, and then this shuts down, and then the chest gets filled up, and the quarry gets filled up, and yada yada yada. So I have not wanted to do it, but now I will be able to turn back on my quarries. Let this run for a couple of days and see. The only thing I'm really worried about is this right here, to see if I net gain or if I net lose fuel. Because if I start losing fuel, then we're going to have to think of a different way to power our quarries. But we can worry about that at another time. Yes, so let me clean up here, and I will be right back. Okay, we are back, and as you can see, we are in the magic area, yes, and this is no longer going to be just our magic area. I think we're going to start building farms out here, and the very first farm I need is a tree farm for a couple of reasons. A, it wouldn't be bad to get wood. I also want to use that with the stained saplings, so I could possibly get more stained saplings if I can. That'd be awesome. I also want to use it to be able to start producing charcoal. So I can actually get some production, some automated energy production, renewable energy production going, or whatever the case is. So we are going to do that here. And as you can see, I've already kind of mapped out the area. So we're going to have this little 17 by 17 over here. I need to wire it up, but in the meantime, what I'm going to do is just set it up, I guess, with a Tesseract. Just so we could see it working. And I'm sure we're going to continue using a Tesseract. But so we're going to put, I guess, okay, we can't put the Tesseract there. We got to go down one more. And you know what? We will actually, might as well get all the wiring ready. So what do we need? We're going to need a planter and a harvester. So the planter is going to come here, and you know what? We could set that up right now just so you could see how it's done and how to use it. So to do it, we're going to need some type of power source, which I guess we'll use the Tesseract, and we'll put the Tesseract right down here. And then we're going to need to wire it, so we can put that right there. Because I don't think it takes straight RF. And we're going to use this Tesseract is going to pull some lava power. And this is receiving, awesome. And then we're going to put down the planter. Now, it's worth noting that this planter goes one block below where you want it to plant. Yeah, and the reason for that is not only does it work with trees, it also works with all types of plants, any type of seeds. So in a lot of cases, you'd wind up putting a bucket of water right over this to keep the ground hydrated. But since we're doing trees, we don't need it to be hydrated. So as you can see, we're already getting power. And if we were to put oak saplings in here, they would start to actually being planted. Now, the first problem is a just generic planter right here will only do a 3x3 grid. And as you can see, we go out at its furthest by 7. So we need to upgrade that to a 7x7 grid. Right here, you can see there's plenty of upgrades for Minefactory Reloaded stuff. And what do we need is the gold one that increases it by 7. So as you can see, I have one here. So we can come into here, boom. Now this should cover this whole square section that I have set out for it. But we're not done. No, no, no. What we also need to do is do this harvester, put down the harvester. Now what the harvester is going to do is after the tree grows, it's going to simply cut down the tree. Now I actually got the wrong kind of card. I think I need to go out 14. I think, you know what? Actually, I wonder if I could put the harvester in the middle right here. That would be interesting. I think it needs to be on the same line as it. So for now, we'll put this right here. We'll play around with positions when we need to. Cool. So now what do we need to connect to here? Well, we need to connect two things. First of all, we need to be able to connect power to it, which is an obvious one. But another thing we need to connect is piping. And the piping is going to go two ways. One, we want to pipe the actual saplings back into this jammy right here. And then two, we want to run power to it. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to pipe out to a ender chest of some sorts, just to get the items out of here. So what we will, do we have an ender chest on me? I do not. So we'll come back for that. For now, let's run the power and the piping for this. And for that, we'll just come all the way over here. What is this? I need to go to, let's see. What is the positions of right here? This is, we need to go to 256 is where we're going to. Okay. So where are we? 254, 55, 56. Boom. And that fell out just for us. Oh, wow. There's a ravine under us. Good to know. We're going to have to check that out sometime. Cool. So now we have a place to run power and a place to run our piping. And you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to run the piping that way and the power under. I should have plenty of pipes on me. We'll use the impulse item ducts just because that's how we roll. And we'll come back like this. Now, I'm going to have to check, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, we'll fix that. I'm not 100% sure if I have any pneumatic servos on me, and that pneumatic servo is going to be very important. I do. Awesome. Because we need to filter out of this just saplings. Yes. Now, we need to use the OR dictionary and ignore metadata. So that means any type of sapling should go through here. That's going to be a whitelist. And now we should be able to hit this with a wrench for exporting. Very cool. And now we need to run the power, which should be pretty simple. You know what? We'll get down into darkling mode here just so we can do this a little bit easier eventually. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now we should be able to run this. Oh. I am inside of it. Okay, that wasn't cool. Let's try that again. It's a little buggy when running around as a darkling, but we're okay. So bring this down and connect. Cool. Now everything should be powered all nice. We should be able to put back this grass block here. This should be powered. It is. We do not want to shear leaves. We're going to put for now this upgrade, but I actually don't think this upgrade is going to work. What we want to make sure is we don't start shaving down trees in other places, but we will figure that out eventually. You know what? I want to just, because that's probably going to wind up staying open. Or maybe we'll put the chest behind it. I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, so let's put some oak saplings in here. These are going to start planting. Now, here's the question. When this grows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's only going to go this far. 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know if this is going to cover this whole area. I guess what I have to do is wait and see. But I believe the way this works is by putting in 7. Actually, it's going to start from here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And only go this far. 8, 9, 10, 11. If we put a, what is it? A emerald one, it only goes to 11. So it's only going to go this far, which is actually quite interesting. So you know what? Let me go get an emerald one, wait for this to grow a bit, and we will check it out. Okay, we are back, and I've changed things around just a little bit, but I think it's more or less the same. So first thing I had to do, let's just get bigger for a second, is I replaced the cards, and I moved this. So now this still has the gold card, so this increases it to 7, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, this is still too far. Yeah, I'll fix that in a minute, but we don't have to worry about that at the moment. But now this goes to 11. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So right now it is going to place actual saplings here, but we'll move that in a minute. You know, I might even just make the card a 6. I just didn't want to have to make another card because I was already wasting one of them. Anyways, so down here, this changed up a little bit. Out the back of this harvester comes the item duck. And then one branch goes into this ender chest. As you can see, this ender chest is marked red, so it's considered further away than this harvester here, the planter. And then another link comes down here, around, and back here into the harvester, which the harvester is only allowing saplings, same settings as before. So this should work. So now I should be able to put some saplings in here. And as you can see, I have all different type of saplings that I want to use, but we'll start off just for testing with these. And then I also brought a bunch of bone meal. And of course that just happened. Why wouldn't that just happen? You know what? Let me get the correct card and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm putting a silver in there. That should give it a radius of 6. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that should be well within this guy's range, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Awesome. Okay, so I know this isn't the most optimal setup, but it's fine. So let's put in some of these guys. Let them start getting planted. And I brought a bunch of bone meal so we could just speed up the process to make sure this works. So let's just keep hitting this. And now this guy should start chewing it down any second now. Whenever it feels like it. I know sometimes it takes a minute or two for it to work. I don't know why, but... So let's just give it a second. Any minute now, it should chop down this tree. Pretty sure it's going to chop down the tree. It's set up for 11, so this is only 1, 2, 3 away from it. Why isn't it? We have sheer leaves, no, because we don't want it to. We don't want leaves. We want saplings. Okay, let me let this sit for a minute. You know what? Let's grow a couple more trees, just to give it more of a chance. I'm not gonna be able to grow it. Oh yeah, there you go. To start cutting something down, because it should. Okay, that's all my bone meal. Okay, let me watch this for a minute, and I'll wait for that to start cutting it down. Okay, after waiting a little while, I'm pretty sure I know what I did wrong. There we go. Now this should work. Any second. As soon as it feels like starting, it now should start cutting things. Because it, well, I guess it shouldn't have made actually much of a difference, should it? Oh, okay, yeah, it's working. Look at that, and it's replanting as it's going. I think this is going to work. Now, I'm wondering now, because I had that backwards, if this is actually would have... No, I guess it's still going to do the same thing. So you know what? I am going to just bang this guy out with as many saplings as I could. Let them all get planted. And let's just see what happens. I'm going to watch this for a little while. I'll probably go sleep, let it turn to day, and then we'll see how it goes. See you guys back here in a minute. Okay, so now I've been watching this for a couple days, and it's been doing pretty good. So at this point, I think we're rocking and rolling. Now, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen with those colored saplings. I don't think the chances of getting a sapling from a colored sapling is as good as getting it from a vanilla one, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see how that works out. The last thing I will need to do is set up some chunk loaders. Unfortunately, I was so close. This was so close of all fitting into one chunk. Look at this. So pretty much the whole farm does, but the damn, that sucks so much. Just this damn harvester does not fit in the chunk. So I made a couple of these spot loaders, which I believe are just chunk loaders for one chunk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one in here, so we can spot load that chunk. And then we'll put one, I guess, I mean, anywhere within this chunk is really where we need it. So we can put it, I guess for now we'll just put it under here. I don't know why under, but at least we don't have to see it. Does this show me lasers? Can I do lasers? No, I can't do lasers with that. So I'm assuming that works, and I'll probably have to watch it. I've never actually used these spot loaders before, but I'm pretty sure this is how they work. They just load one chunk. One good thing that I noticed is I started seeing these really large trees growing, and it kind of scared me a little bit. Because I thought they were going to be too large for the harvester to take care of. But it seems like as long as the block that it starts with is within its range, it will just take down the whole tree. And I noticed that because if you noticed before, there was a couple trees right here, and one of the trees grew, and its leaves were touching the leaves of the trees over here, and it took away these trees too. So that is pretty much, I assume, how it works. So I think this is going to work well. I don't know why it takes so long for it to take down trees, but I should be getting more than enough stuff, so I should be okay with it. So I'm going to have to watch this for a few days, make sure everything is cool. Obviously, actually, everything outside of this chunk, so like that part of the tree is not going to get cut away, but that's something we'll have to worry about on another time. I mean, I guess I could put another spot loader there. Not really sure if I want to. We'll see if that's a problem. More than likely what will happen is it's going to annoy the hell out of me. So you know what? I am going to put a spot loader here just to make 100% sure. And you know, I should really stop digging. You know what? We're going to put cobble there. And I guess cobble over here, is it? The problem is I can never find my damn chunk loaders after I placed it. See, I'm having the problem again right now. Don't know where my chunk loader is. So yeah, I'm going to have to put cobble down. There you go. As just a place marker to know where my chunk loaders are. I know it looks ugly. We'll figure something else out later. But for now, I just want to make sure this is going to actually work. And as you can see, it's taken down that whole tree. Very cool. Very cool. So next time... Oh, now, I don't know if it's going to take down these leaves now, since they're not touching. Oh, it did. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, does this take down the whole tree? Now I'm a little unsure, but it looks like it is. Cool. So next time, what we are going to do is set up a way to start actually turning all this wood that we're going to be getting into charcoal, so we can use charcoal in places like over here, where we want this to constantly run, and a few other places, and it wouldn't make a bad backup power source. So that is it for today. Again, I am so sorry for how long it's been between these episodes. I mean, honestly, I've just been ridiculously busy. I know I've had the FTL stuff going up every day, but that's actually quite easy to record, you know. So anyways, thank you for joining me. As always, if you liked what you see, please give it a like. It definitely helps me a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys next time.